honey, I got what you want. Give me all of your love, 'cause it's burning hot. It's what you do to me, babe, I can guarantee. Honey, I got honey, I got what you want. Give me all of your love, 'cause it's burning hot. It's what you do to me, babe, I can guarantee. Honey, I got what you need. Under the night sky, I want your eyes all on me. Don't tell me lies now, I always get mine. Don't play with me. Do you want it? Can you feel me? Can you handle it? Right? Do you want it? Don't put your love on hold. I can't take it anymore. Oh, put your love on me now. Trust me and you will see. Oh, honey, I got what you want. Honey, I got what you need. Honey, I got what you want. Honey, I got what you need. Give me your love, no holding back, no, no. We can take it to the stars, where you wanna go. The things that we can do to make the prove you know. Honey, I got what you want. Yeah, under the night sky, I want your eyes all on me. Don't tell me no lies, I always get mine. Don't play with me.
So who is ready to talk about live streaming here? I am so excited. We got to throw a little confetti your way. So it has been an amazing start to the month of November, and we're just getting started. So last month, I hosted an online event challenge to show different strategies to bring more business in with qualified sales leads. So for those of you that don't know me, my name's Elizabeth Morosco. I own an agency in Michigan, and we host a lot of events and publish a wonderful magazine called Kudos magazine, where we are always focused on sharing content about healthy, happy living, and also to give support for businesses that focus around those things. So for those of you that come in and tune in with me live on Amazon, hello. It's been a little while since I've been here, but it is good to be back. And I do have to tell you, part of my journey of acquiring a lot of the merchandise that I need for live streaming, I purchased right off of Amazon. In fact, when I was coming up with this list of goodies for all of you to check out, I referenced my Amazon order sheet. So I don't know if you know, on Amazon, you can go to the order section and you can see all of your previous purchases you've made. And as you start to acquire a lot of gear, it does become helpful because people will ask you, what did you use for this and what was that? And that actually happened to me during the challenge last week that I hosted for being able to produce awesome online events. I had a couple of people asking me, how are you doing these different things and how did you get it to look like that? And part of it, training, being willing to learn new things, and then slowly acquiring different pieces of equipment to make that happen. And it's been a journey, but what I'll tell you is I didn't do it all in once. So if you happen to come across this video and maybe you've been thinking of taking your business to the next level, maybe this will give you a little inspiration to get started, but just make sure that you don't get caught into overwhelm of feeling like you got to get it all at once. If you can, that's great, but if not, that's okay too, because it gives you a chance to master each piece of technology and to intimately know the merchandise. And the truth is when you're going live, excuse me, it's helpful to know exactly how to use the equipment. And I'm still learning, but anyhow, so let's dig in a little bit. And if you are watching me live, say hello to me in the comments so I know who's tuning in and all that good stuff. But it's been a really fun experience, I can tell you, going down this whole industry of video. You know, video is really king, and we are just starting to see live streaming going to this next level with businesses, and it's happening in so many different ways. But having a little bit of a blueprint to help along the way will help you save a lot of money and so much headache. And one of the things that I do really like about ordering off of Amazon is it becomes easy to find out like different pieces that you're missing. For instance, cords or little obscure things that seem like, you know, no big deal till you're looking for that specific thing. So tell me if you've been there before, trying to find the right cord and you couldn't. And that actually happened to me after I acquired a new camera. We're going to talk about that, and I'm going to make sure that you have the link to get the right cord so you don't have to go batty like I did when I was looking, because we want to make this fun. We want to make this a really fun experience. So, but one of the things, in fact, let me get over here to my handy dandy little phone and see what we got here. One of the very first things that I got into for live streaming or really creating any content, it started with my audio. It really did. And I ended up purchasing this whole Zoom setup. I'm going to try to show you pieces of it, but since I'm streaming off of this equipment, I have to be a little careful to make sure I don't knock anything off. But what I want to say to you is this: people will tolerate bad video a little bit, but if it's bad audio, they will shut down what they're watching. So tell me if you've been there. I've been there where I've seen great content, but it's like it's just too much. Too much. I can't handle it. So let me first dig in, and I want to tell you a little bit about, like, this is my overall setup. This is what I'm looking at right now while I'm looking at you. I have a monitor, a Mac Mini, some fun little accessories, some audio, some lighting, and some fun things to make it a little bit more interesting. But for me, the very first thing that I ended up getting into, it was my audio. And this is my Zoom device, and you can see that there's 4 ports on it. It also gives me the ability to adjust the audio volume that's coming in. So let's say I can plug in 4 people at the same time, and maybe you have somebody that's a really loud talker. This gives you the ability to adjust that. Now, one of the reasons why I picked this Zoom piece of equipment is it's super easy for being able to transport. And my goal was to not just set up a live streaming studio for me to use in my office, but if I had the need to go off-site to do an interview with different people, you know, with the magazine Kudos, we do a lot of interviews with medical professionals, doctors, and stuff like that. So often I would have to go directly to the hospital and not have them come here. Things have changed quite a bit since the C word busted out, but the convenience, the sheer convenience of being able to take this with me on the run is fantastic. One of the things too is it comes in this little carry case, and I have it set up for it to just roll through my live stream setup that I have right here in my office. But you can see from this photo, there are little microphones that you can attach to it. So the one that's in the photo is perfect if you're doing an interview with somebody and you just wanted to capture really crisp audio, but maybe you don't want to have microphones bouncing around. You want it to just be kind of contained and professional. The accessories that come with this are phenomenal. They're phenomenal. But in my case, I knew outside of the interviews, when I was doing live streaming for, like, for instance, this Amazon Live, or when we go on other platforms, I knew I wanted to have a microphone and something that was set up so I could just turn on and go. So in my case, what I did is, and I'll highlight this in the reel just a minute. I'm going to try to be careful because this is the actual audio that I'm speaking from. So you can see I have my microphone right here, and it has a base, and I just have this set off a little bit to the side so you can't quite see it when I'm on camera. But that's the Shure, and I'll tell you, the equipment that they have is phenomenal. I mean, even for price point, what they offer for audio quality, it's fantastic. And you're always going to find things that you can upgrade along the way. In fact, there's another beautiful Shure microphone that I would like to check out. But right now, these are great. And when I made this purchase, I actually purchased 4 of them because the idea was being able to do these interviews right around, the Zoom container, and being able to have everything just plugged in all at once. It just seems simpler to me. And I'm still very, very happy with this. It was honestly one of the best purchases I made for my agency. And this can even be you if you're just on the go and you want to do some really cool podcasts, but maybe you don't have time to sit down and do podcasts. This is something you could take with you on the go. Just do a little sound bit as you need it, and save it. And there is a way for you to save it directly to the device, or you can have it set up to sync to your computer. So there's lots of options, but it's going to come down to, sort of making the right decision and then changing if you need to. But as far as I'm concerned, the Zoom device and the Shure microphone have exceeded my expectations. And I had used a couple of other microphones before, but the quality just didn't seem as rich, and it worked out good. But the one thing I do want to tell you, if you start getting into microphones, make sure that you're doing something like getting a good mic cover so that it sort of softens the p and the sounds. I used to have this set up where I had another thing in front of it. I forget what they call it, but I actually got rid of it because I just found there's too much stuff on my desk. So for now, this setup is perfect. I'm really happy with it. But one thing, this is something you need to know. If you're going to do live streaming or you're going to do podcasting or whatever, make sure that you have, I'm going to highlight it down in the carousel really quick, but make sure that you have a backup plan for all of your cords. Let me see. I thought I had added it in here. It's the XLR cable. But what I recommend is having extra cables on hand so that if you are in production, that you don't end up in a situation where, one of the cords has static or it's not working. So I think it's one of the key things with your technology is making sure you have your backup plan and everything set up. And you can see I also highlighted the Gear desktop microphone stand that I have. These are fantastic. Let me show you this really quick. It does have this knob over here, and you have the ability to lift this. Sorry about the audio, you guys, for a second. But you have the ability, it has this telescope stand in it, so you have the ability to lower it or raise the microphone to where you want, which is great, especially if you have different people, different heights going on. As you can see, I'm a little short, but we'll get on up here. And in fact, since we're going to be hanging out for a little while, how about if I put some background chill out music on? Does that sound good? Let me know if that's too high. Let me know if that's too loud for you. But just something a little soft. And for those of you that don't know, I'm actually live streaming through ecamm and then directly to Amazon Live. So it's kind of cool to see all these technologies emerging to give businesses, nonprofits, entrepreneurs a chance to flourish. And it's never been easier than it is right now with being able to order these things on Amazon. So I do really like the stand. It's very sturdy. It has a really solid base to it, so it's not going to get knocked over easy. If you're like me, talking with your hands a lot, things get knocked over, coffee, mic stands, all of that. But this is a really solid, it's a really solid stand, so you're not going to have any of those issues. This Shure microphone adapter, this is actually what you can attach onto it to put the microphone in it, and that's been fantastic. So I will say a great big yay for all the good audio equipment that's out there. It makes it delightful. It really does. And I would say if you are just starting off and you don't know maybe where to start from because it's overwhelming, lighting, audio, video, hardware, software, start with some really good audio. There are even software packages that you can order online to help you with that. You can probably find some good stuff here on Amazon. But just take your time acquiring these things so that you don't get super stressed. But one of the big things that I had to change right away when I started getting into streaming, it was my computer. It was my computer. And I'm a Mac girl. I love Mac. I do. I love it. It's good. And that's why I use ecamm, because ecamm is equivalent. It's the best software for live streaming for Mac users. vMix if you are a PC person. But I am not a PC person. I am a Mac gal. So this is the thing. I have another desktop that I use for my general computer admin type of stuff. But I kept having a problem every time that I would stream. It kept crashing. If I was going to do, let's say, a tutorial on Canva or Final Cut Pro or whatever I was doing a tutorial on, a computer would crash every single time I would live stream. So I started doing research, was messing around with my internet connection and got all of that upgraded. I did all of that. But the bottom line, that particular computer couldn't handle what I was demanding of it. Even though it's only like 4.5 years old, it just couldn't handle it. So I ended up buying, this is one of my bigger investments for the whole setup, is I ended up purchasing the Mac Minis. They had some that came out I think it was this spring. And since I've done that, I have not had any problems crashing or anything. So I'm really happy with the Mac one, the Mini. It's been beyond what I expected because it's just this little box. I don't think I can get it up here. Let me see. No, if I pull it up, I'm going to unplug all the wires and we're going to disconnect. So I'll just leave it right here. It's that exact Mac. But a couple of things that surprised me. On my other Mac, what would happen is the fan would consistently turn on, even if it wasn't like hot or anything like that. So there would be some noise issues coming out in the background, if I was live streaming, even if I wasn't doing these broadcasts, but I kept having that problem. And on this new one, on this Mac Mini, it doesn't do that. It doesn't push out that air sound. It has been smooth sailing. And actually, and I can tell you, I have owned multiple Macs over my career, from laptops to desktops. And this by far is my favorite, specifically for streaming. And in fact, I only use this for streaming and some video editing that we do for some clients and for our own projects. But with this one, it's small enough that I can take it on the go if I want. So I could literally plug it into a TV anywhere, plug in my camera. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And, bring a microphone. You could even bring like a lapel microphone. But this is such a small setup. If I wanted to go portable with this, it would be very easy to do that. Just grab my microphone, the Zoom, the Mac Mini, and my camera. Good to go. And it would be high quality. Just going to make sure you have a good internet connection. So I factored these things in while I was doing this whole setup. So it wasn't like I would have to lug around, a 20-inch monitor desktop. That's just too much, especially when you're trying to get in and out of places very quickly. So this offers that flexibility of being able to have something that's super solid in your work office studio space, but it also lends to a little bit of flexibility. I mean, the ideal situation is to get your gear set up and everything is where it's at. So when you go back to do the next live stream, it's there. But sometimes it's not practical. You might be in a company where maybe you have 3 or 4 people that are taking, live streaming in different areas and they have to share that equipment. This offers that flexibility. And for me, I ended up going with, more RAM. I wasn't as worried about saving files on this per se because I can always do that in an external drive. The big thing to make sure that you're getting is as much horsepower as possible. So if you can invest in the higher quality one in the long run, it's going to make you very happy. You won't be disappointed. But I personally feel like that was one of the second best thing. First getting the audio done and then getting that Mac 1 Mini just brought so much peace. I can't even tell you. It gave me so much peace of mind because I wasn't crashing. I wasn't in the middle of, after setting up a big, stream with all this great content, having everything shut down because it just couldn't handle it. And I was a little bit bummed at first. I was thinking, "Oh, I don't want to buy another computer." But now that I've got it set up where this is my whole live streaming gig set up here, and then I've got my admin stuff over at another desk, it's easier, so much more simple. And hopefully as I get going in this, I'll be able to come stream live more often here on Amazon. So I'd love to know from you, have you started your Christmas shopping? I haven't, but we're gonna we're gonna set that up soon. And in fact, some of these items that you might find on here could be a good fit for your loved one. It's not necessarily just about buying, but about finding the perfect gift, something that people are going to really cherish and say, "Hey, I want some more of that. I want a little bit more of that." So anyhow, yeah, so those are sort of the fundamentals, the audio, the hardware. And then I want to see if I can show you this too. This is an adjustable desk that I bought off of Amazon. And I got to tell you, for the price point, let me see, I'm going to highlight it right there in the carousel. I didn't know. I thought, "Oh, this is going to maybe not be so good. This might be a cheap desk." But I'm going to tell you, it is far from it. In fact, let me see if I can set this up. Can you hear it? I'm going to go from sitting, let's see, to standing. And it's literally as simple as a little click of a button. So now I'm like in full standing mode. And, I started off the live stream just sitting down talking to you. But there is sort of a different dynamic, I think, when you get up and you start talking and get moving into your step. The box it comes in, number one, I'll tell you, it's really heavy. And most of the weight is from the motor that's on this desk. It is, she's a bad boy. She is awesome and very smooth, the way that she's lifting herself. So a couple things, I'm going to give you a couple pointers. I ended up adding on, let me see if I can switch it to here a second, these little coasters to the bottom of the feet. And it does come with like little flat metal type feet that you can screw up into the bottom of the desk. But what I like about adding these little coasters is I can easily move around my desk and my whole setup. I've got everything hooked up in here, and I can go, all over the whole entire room. And that makes it helpful for if you're trying to get a specific angle or lighting, or maybe you just need a different point of view for the day, that you don't want your desk in that one spot. So this desk is actually on wood floors, and I mean, it's smooth as butter, no problem at all. Rotating everything. You could probably do some really fun um, video clips, of like a camera sliding and capturing that. But that has been one of my favorites. It wasn't one of the first things that I ended up getting. I have another desktop that had other computers on, and for a while I had both of these on the same desktop, but it was pretty tight, and I knew in my mind I wanted to get this set up that like my business admin stuff was over there, and on a separate desk I would have my whole live streaming thing. So the whole entire setup was really easy. I made a mistake when I first put it together accidentally, and I had put the motor part facing the wrong way, but it was super simple. Just unscrewed it, got it back in there again, and I'm going to tell you what, it is sturdy. It is super sturdy. It has almost like a plastic top and metal legs to it, but this thing is holding three big lights, all of my equipment, my monitor, everything's on here, and it doesn't feel like it's going to knock over if you lean on it. It doesn't feel like it's fragile. It's very sturdy. So for that price point, I got to tell you, I was a little bit flipped out. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be this good of quality. And the cool thing is, I'm going to see if I can pull up these two little video clips that I have. So bear with me one second. But the cool thing is it has the height that's adjustable to go tall or sitting position, and you can program it. So literally, I can push one button, and let me see. I think it's this one. Oh, that's going to take it up. And if I push this other button, it's just going to bring it right back down. There we go. Okay, hands free, Ma. Look at Mom, no hands. It's kind of cool, huh? All right. And we lost some of our music again. See if we can go over here. Oh, that one's too loud. That's my dog snoring. Can you hear my dog snoring? He's sitting at the foot of my bed. Okay, so we'll put this on. And I want to see if I can find this one video of... I did a video before I came out here to show me lowering and raising the height of the desk. Let me see if I can find that really quick. But I will say, overall, this desk has been just a complete little surprise. It's been a good thing. Okay, let me see if this does it. This might pull it over. Oops. Got too much going on, too many things going on. So, hey, tell me, how was your Halloween? Did you guys have a good Halloween out there? I know I did. Just flew by. So I'm going to see if I can, I think I have to pull it out here. It's just a simple video. It's nothing even fancy. All right. I've got the scene locked. Here we go. All right, let's try this. You ready, guys? Let's see. Let's see. Okay. All right, so this is it. Took me a while to get here. So this is sort of my little setup with my right here. This is what I wanted to show you. So right here they have it where you can do the short or the tall, and then you just push a couple of really simple buttons to program the height, and it's a no-brainer. So you can as you get comfortable with knowing where all these little buttons are at, you can be standing there, sitting there, and just click the button and not even have to really calculate, oh, what's going on? Where's this at? You know? Let me see. I'm going to see if I can raise it right now. Oops. Okay, here we go. Hi, Mom, no hands. Okay, so we're back up to stand mode. All right, there we go. So I found 82 is comfortable for me. You'll have to find out what's comfortable for you. But the one thing is after you put on those wheels that we were talking about earlier, there will be more height on your setup. So you these little accessories that aren't so little, but they're super important. Things like your iPhone. So right now I'm streaming on Amazon, and to engage with the carousel and stuff like that, you do have to use your iPhone. So two things that I do have that are kind of in the background. One, to monitor comments and to see what's going on. I do have my iPad, and that is definitely helpful, and even for taking notes or so many other things. And then I also have I'm streaming with this whole setup, but as I'm engaging with you through the carousel, I'm using my iPhone. I think this is the iPhone 12, and I ended up getting the red one, and I think with the red one they have something like a portion of the sale goes to support AIDS. So find out different ways while you're making all of these different buying decisions. Are there things that you can do that align with you personally, where you feel good about making the purchase? One of the things I love about Amazon, I don't know if you know this, hopefully you do if you're an Amazon shopper, they have I think it's called Amazon Smile program. So you can designate your favorite nonprofit to receive, benefits from all of your purchases. And in a given year, it adds up really quick. And especially when you're ordering merchandise like this, So find ways while you're going through and building your business. How can you support your community? How can you create something great for yourself that's also a benefit to other people? So yeah, a great big kudos to Amazon for making that happen. I think that's pretty cool. And like I was saying to you before, the iPad comes in really helpful, especially if you're doing, live streaming on, Facebook even, or Amazon or YouTube. You have the ability where you can see in real time the comments that are happening, so you can engage in it. And that's one of the things too, put only so much pressure on your setup, on your live stream setup. So instead of maybe having everything run through your Mac Mini, doing that specifically for the live streaming, and then having either another computer set up where you're engaging with the comments, or an iPad or an iPhone, something like that can help create a stream that is just seamless. And that's the whole bottom line. We want it to not be a problem. We want it to be fun, so that when you're out there and you're engaging, you're not stressing out to the max of everything's crashing. You just have to remember to limit or notice the limits of the different merchandise that you're buying. So check that out. I do also have, because it just for sheer simplicity and easy, is having one of those stands so that you can put your iPad up and then just have it up on display off to the side. This is a really cute one. And then you can do whatever color matches your setup. I have a lot of just like black and gray kind of kicking over here, but you might have a brand color, purple or something. That could be a really fun way to do that. And, like I said, all of this stuff just takes so much time. You just have to be willing to say, hey, I'm willing to do it just a little bit each day, just a little bit. All right, so I want to dig in and talk to you about one of the other important things. We talked about audio for a little bit. I think it's number one thing. If you're going to get into live streaming and broadcast, make sure that you set up your audio, get that taken care of. And there's so many different options for what you can go through. We also had a chance to talk briefly about this adjustable desk. I love this incredible price point. Just make sure that when you do order it, that you have another person that can help you if it has to be carried upstairs or something, because it is a pretty heavy box. That motor is not playing around. We also had a chance to talk briefly about the Mac Mini. That has been just such a grace for me to be able to make sure that my stream is not crashing while I'm in the middle of doing what I'm trying to do, because who wants to go through that? That can be a little bit much for people to handle. The next thing is, I know you would almost think that I would say if you're live streaming, the first thing you need to buy is a really good camera. But I don't think so. In my opinion, you can actually get by for quite a while without a really great camera, as long as you have really great lighting. In fact, for the first couple of years, I was streaming either just off of my computer um, camera that was integrated onto my other desk, or when I moved over here, I ended up using my iPhone to stream with. And the software that I used was something that you can get from Elgato. And we're going to dig into Elgato right now. They have so many incredible products for live streaming. Only thing I want to say is slow down, find what best fits your needs, and then go from there. Now, I did not start off with the Elgato lights at all. In fact, that's what I'm using right now. I'm going to show you a couple of things. Hold on one second. So I did not start off with the Elgato lights. I started off with a ring light and then a diffuser light. I'm going to try to show you guys that here in a minute. But the cool thing is with the Elgato lights, it comes with this awesome little app that you can download to your phone, or you can use right from your desktop. And you have the ability to change. Let's see what some of this looks like. Have the ability to change all your lighting, so we can go like that. Now, one of the reasons why I actually ended up finally saying, hey, enough with it, I'm going to get into the lighting and fix it, is I have to wear glasses when I'm on my computer, because I don't need them for like every day, but for reading and things like that, I have to have them. So when you have the right setup, you can get rid of some of that. See this? You can get rid of some of like that blue. So I've got it set up where if I'm standing right here talking to you, not too far away from my microphone, and I'm surrounded by rich, beautiful light, it helps create a better image, and it just sort of flushes out the whole thing. So a couple of things with Elgato, they have a lot of different lighting, but the two different styles that I have two lights that are on the side. I'm going to highlight those here in a minute too, and those are called I think it's called Airstream or Key Light. No, okay, the one that I have in the middle, I just highlighted, and this is called the Key Light. It's significantly bigger, and I'll tell you, they come. Let me see right here in this great big box. See if we can go over here to full screen. Hold on one second. Here we go. Ta-da! So it comes in this big box, and it has a base to it that you can clamp on to your desk. And it's actually pretty significant. I could probably get by and do the live streaming with just this one light. In fact, we're going to do a guinea pig. You ready? Who wants to do a guinea pig with me? If you're watching live or on the replay, say hello. Let me know you're here. Okay, so we're going to do this real quick. And I'm going to shut off the two, if I can get my phone to unlock. I'm going to shut off the two lights on the side, and then we'll see what it looks like just with the one light right there. Okay, ready? So that's the left is gone, right is gone. So this is just using that one light, which is the key light. So technically, I could really get by with just this. I really could. It's not too bad. So if you are, again, trying to build out your live studio in stages and you have to pick out one light, this would be the one to do it. It's not going to take up a lot of space on your floor. And that was one of the reasons why I ended up migrating to the Elgato is if I can bring over that ring light and that other light here in a minute, they take up a lot of floor space. So it was always a matter of if I was moving the desk around, I had to maneuver the lights and this other stuff. The way that I have this set up, as you can see from over here, I've got everything attached to just the one desk. So literally, if I go to move the desk, everything is going with me. I'm not, I got to get this, set up, I got to change this. In fact, I even taped on with some of that alien tape, the extension cords onto the side of what do they call it? Not power breakers. I forget what they call it. Surge protectors. I've got those taped on with some industrial tape onto the legs, and I've just got everything plugged into it and just one plug that's running into the outlet. So I'm not trying to maneuver, I've got 10 different things plugged in on this desk. I'm just plugging it into that one unit, and that one cord is run right into the AC outlet. So super, super easy, not having to move lights that are all over the place. So this is just the one light, and I'll tell you, the quality has been incredible with that too. You can tell they really put a lot of attention into their equipment, Elgato, that is. It's just a fantastic product. And the light, it's not, it's like a plastic diffuser. So it's not cloth, it's not paper. You don't have to worry about something tearing or something breaking easily. It almost has like a plexiglass kind of feel to it. But the beautiful thing is as you're going through and using these lights, having the access to the control, so like here we've got the center light on. I can adjust all this lighting. I'm not doing anything with the software. This is just the lighting. So if I wanted to get into that warm sienna kind of feel or to brighten it up, wow, I look like a redhead there. That's funny. So, you can adjust and play with that too. Next one I'm going to show you, it's going to be the Elgato air lights, which is this one right here, the air light. And, oops, multitasking. But the air light did really surprisingly well for me. I didn't think I was going to have to. See if I can go over here to solo. Here we go. All right. So this is the air lights here. And you can see they come with a base. So on these, they don't clamp to your table. That's the only thing. So if you want those to be clamped on so you're not taking as much of a footprint, you're going to want to buy an adapter for that. I think that will be next on my to-do list. But like I said to you in the beginning, you just buy and purchase a little bit at a time, so it's not overwhelming. So yeah, the key light air has been great. In fact, I'm gonna switch both of those on here in just a second. Let me see if I can get this switched over. My phone keeps going into like lacking. It's like, stop it. I'm gonna see if I can find that highlight on the carousel. Um, okay, this says it's this one, the key light, but I thought that that was. Oh nope, here we go. Here we go. I found it. Yes, I knew I put it in my carousel for you. Okay, so the first one I was showing you, is the one that I have in the center, and then we're gonna go over here. Now I have these on the left and the right. Okay, so I'm gonna shut this off. So this is me in the middle of the day. It looks like it's nighttime, doesn't it? All right, so let's turn on. This is my left light over here. Depending on how you're looking at me, it could be your left or your right, but I'm telling you it's my left hand. And then we're going to put on our right one. Okay. So that's good too, just having those two. And then I have the ability to adjust. And when I say adjust, what it is with this Elgato application, they have it where you can adjust the lights very easily, and you can get into, warming up the light or making it, whatever makes you look more beautiful, right? So those are just the two lights. And then I'm going to throw in this top light. There you go. Boom. So that's my whole lighting setup. The cool thing is I have it set up where I can control it from any computer or right from my phone. And I think that's one of the key things with live streaming, if you want it to be a little seamless, is creating all of the flow for what you're going to talk about in advance, and making sure that equipment or things that you have to change are right at your fingertips, so you're not trying to run around or adjust things. And that even includes, like earlier I was talking to you about the Zoom piece for my audio. If I have problems with, crackling or anything like that, I can hear it right away. I don't know if you can tell, I actually have headphones in so I can do audio check as we're going live. But those are things that are really cool. This is the Elgato mount. This is next on my to-do list. I have not purchased this one. However, that same exact mount is on the set. It comes with that center light that I was telling you about, the key light. So it comes with that. So, all right, we got to talk about something fun. Ready? Because lighting is so fun when it comes to your live streaming. But, it doesn't always have to be about the lights that you're using for live streaming. So back behind me, you're going to see my picture. I actually found these, I think it's pronounced Govee lights. And I purchased those. I loved it. It's so much fun. And in fact, I keep it on even when I'm not streaming because it just makes the studio look nice in here. But I've got it set to a blue tone. And I'm going to step away from my microphone just for a minute. But I'm going to show you how you can rotate these lights. Now, there is just like a little plastic toggle switch that comes with it. It's super easy. Let me show you really quick. Okay, so on and off, and then you can get into changing the color a little bit. Isn't that cool? Changing the color, and then we'll go back over here to like a purple, and then you can even get into, like flashing light or strobe light or changing the colors. So many different things, but we're gonna just simmer it down, and we'll just keep it a solid blue color so it's not too distracting. But those are fun things that, if you start paying attention to a lot of the live streamers, what are they doing? What are they using? They're creating a little bit of ambiance in their background. And, my background isn't anything special. I've got a bookcase. I'm a little bit of a book junkie, and some artwork and just some fun things in the background. to bring a little bit of life to it, and you gotta have a little bit of fun. So, but I would love to know from you. Have you done live streaming? Have you done any live streaming? So for all of you that have, got some confetti in the sky for you. Yeah, because it can be a game changer for your business. Having a chance to connect with people through video is very powerful. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, I think video must be worth 1,000,000 then, because there's just so much that you can share. And I think that's why places like Amazon are starting to get into some of the live streaming and allowing people like myself and so many others to come on here. And I'm excited to have had the chance to come out here and do a couple live streams on Amazon. And even for me, it's wonderful because I'm going to take this video and I'm going to share it with my clients to say, here's my stream gear setup. You were asking about what I was using. Here's everything that I'm using for live streaming. And to have the ability to just quickly make these purchases in real time as you're seeing it can save so much aggravation. And, when we're in business, we just don't have time for some of those little things that aren't productive, right? We want to just get through it, get what we need, and get on that mission. And hopefully this live stream will help some of you overcome maybe some fear you were having about live streaming, and also to inspire you to say, hey, I'm gonna give it a little shout and a little try. So, okay, so we talked about the the lighting, and there's a couple more things I want to share with you. So we talked about the lighting. Here's something that's just jumping a little bit ahead of time, but I'm going to tell you, this is one of my favorite things I have bought for live streaming and beyond. And beyond. It is the Stream Deck. And I don't know how many of you have used this, but the short of it is it is basically, it offers you a chance to program each of these keys, and you can expand by like creating multiple layers of screens behind it. And what could you use this for? So many things in live streaming and beyond. So number one, being able to, transition to different scenes, like how I've been scrolling through here and showing you all these different little scenes. Part of that is just using this Stream Deck and pushing the button. Also, being able to quickly mute myself, but now you can hear me. So when you're streaming, knowing where things are at very easily to stop any difficulties from happening and doing the troubleshooting in real time is important. So having like that mute button, or being able to automatically play a video clip without even taking your eyes off the camera and being able to push that button. Or you can get into some really cool stuff even with making shortcuts to, maybe you've got your top websites that you visit, your top places. Or it could be something that you're doing every single day. You can program these buttons to be multitasked buttons. So meaning, let's say that every day you log on to your Facebook group. You normally would have to open up your Chrome browser and then Facebook and then get to your group. You could set that whole thing up with one keystroke to have all 4 of those tasks done with just one button. And yeah, I know some people will say, oh, that's lazy. It's not about laziness. This is about efficiency and making sure that the tools and resources that you need are available to you immediately while you're live streaming. Because number one, you're trying to engage with the people that are watching. You're trying to present your ideas. So you want to make sure everything is dummy proof as possible. I can even control my lights that I was just showing you with that stream. I can add different sounds to go off and play while I'm doing a live stream. And when I say sounds, it could be things like DJ horn. What's up, winner? You're a winner, winner. So, this honestly, though, has been one of my most favorite pieces of equipment that I have bought. It's super, super fun, and it's endless. And you even have the ability to go in and you can program all of these buttons to have a different icon, color. In fact, you can go through if you use Canva and just set up your custom artwork for each of these buttons. So super easy. And I can tell you, when you get that going, if you tinker around with it for just a little bit, you're going to find so many life hacks. In fact, one day I might come back and just do one live stream just about the Stream Deck because it is that cool. You'll find that there are multiple, let me make sure I have that highlighted in the carousel. You'll find that there are multiple versions of the Stream Deck that you can buy. There's this one, which is the medium. They have the small and they have the large. I probably should have bought the large because I use it that often. But honestly, I'm okay with even having this one and eventually buying the large because I use it that often. And if you start doing a live stream regularly, you're going to find things like this become your secret weapon of making your stream look professional and to help create a seamless situation so you're not stressed out trying to figure out what button do I push. And it from tactile standpoint of knowing, oh, this many buttons over will execute this, or looking out of the corner of your eye and you see like a great big yellow key, that you've programmed it to do a certain task. So it just makes it a lot easier for you as a live streamer, and just have fun with it. Have fun. So now we're going to get into probably what you thought would be like the predictable equipment that would be on live stream, and we're going to talk about this. And I actually just acquired this. We're going to talk about your camera gear. And like I said to you at the very beginning, I first started off just using my iPhone, and it worked excellent, no problems at all. But as I started up leveling my streaming, just like so many of us are right now, at first I was going to get the Sony 6100, and then this came out, the Sony ZV-E10, and specifically E10 because there's one that's just the E1. What I'm streaming from is the E10, and it is incredible. There's so many really cool features with it, from helping you have a better, I think they call it the beautification or something like that. So giving you a little bit of a prettier picture, hopefully, when you're looking at me today or something. But I was really excited to finally just get this. Maybe about a month ago, they finally came out, and I had to pre-order it. So if you're looking at this now, you're super lucky because I ordered it like 2 months before it came out. So if you're ordering it now, you should be able to get it just about right away. So Sony has incredible quality when it comes to their cameras. I don't think you'll ever get disappointed about what they have to offer. But this upgrade to the ZV-E10, or some people call it ZV-E10, has been one of the wisest decisions that I made. And again, I will tell you, like, I got the camera, I got it set up, and at first I had it set up directly through a UBS port, just like a standard cord that you have for charging your iPhone. I just had it set up that way, and it was good. However, I noticed that the photos or the video was a little bit darker, and there was a little bit of lag time. So I started doing some research, and what I had found out was if you go through the HDMI cable setting, HDMI to, in fact, let's go over here. It's the Sony. It's the Sony ZV-E10. And for live streaming, this is incredible. The overall quality, the connectivity, seamlessly integrating into my setup is wonderful. I'm very happy with that. I ended up also, this is something that was super key that I want to share with you, that is sort of like the missing link that, I don't know, maybe you're missing, is I ended up getting, I have a couple of cam cards that you'll see. I just highlighted that. It's a capture card is what it is. And by adding this into my configuration, it brought more clearness. It eliminated some of the lag. It brightened up the video a little bit. So much of a difference that I actually went and I got another setup for my other unit that I have over there. So the capture card is definitely worth it if you want to up level your streaming game. The only thing that I do want to caution you about, and this is super important, and I'm going to highlight it in the carousel right now, is if you are going to do that and you really want to reap the full benefits of streaming off of the Sony ZV-E10, is go through the HDMI cable. So I have it highlighted in the carousel right now, but it's a 4K micro HDMI to HDMI. And I had a couple of hiccups when I was first trying to get this. I ended up getting the wrong cords. But fortunately, through Amazon, it did make it a lot easier to just like pinpoint, okay, this is the exact cord I want, instead of trying to chase my tail all over the place. That's one of the things that I do love about Amazon, is sometimes it's just easier to search in their search bar and find exactly what you need versus hunting down people in person to try to figure out something and then they get it wrong. With this, I was immediately connected with the exact cord that I want, and for now on, that's how I'm going to order my cords. I'm just going to do the Amazon thing. So yes, definitely worth it to do that upgrade to the cam card, and then making sure, or the capture card, and then making sure that you grab that HDMI cable so that it all works seamlessly together. But I give the Sony total thumbs up all the way. The ZV-E10 has exceeded what I thought I was going to get for this price of a camera. In fact, I think that some of the other big names, they're going to have to step up, because Sony is doing innovative things with their products right now at price points that are phenomenal. And when it comes to live streaming, you know, cameras are definitely a factor in creating a great live stream. But, you know, it takes time. All of these things cost money and time, because sometimes it's not just about buying the merchandise. You got to figure out, how do you set it all up? But with Sony, it was so simple. Other than me needing to wait to get the cord, the whole thing was set up in a matter of like 3 minutes. Boom, boom, boom. And then perfect quality. And actually, if you're not ready to get the capture card and you just want to do the UBS link, it'll work great. It's wonderful. But if you just want to get a little bit better, these are the ways that you make your stream just a little bit better. It's by making sure all the connecting points are seamless and just flowing together. So I have no regrets about purchasing this camera. It's so pretty. It is. And but that, like I said to you, my camera was not my first thing that I took care of. It was first my audio, my lighting, and then my camera. And the iPhone worked fantastic, but this now gives me the ability to live stream with you on my camera, and then being able to get back over here to Amazon, and I can, you know, read through what are all the, you know, items that we have in the carousel, or any comments or anything that might be coming through. So, yeah, but that was definitely, and again, it was one of those things that I waited and made sure I was ready to take it to that next level. Another thing that is very helpful when you start getting into some of the lenses is, let me come over here. I want to show you the Sigma lenses are really great for Sony, and you're going to have to go through and find, what's the right fit for you. Part of it's going to depend on, what are you trying to capture with your Sony, but Sigma has so many great lenses available right here on Amazon. So this is the other one that I have is the 30 millimeter f 1.4 lens. That could be something that could be a good fit for you also. But having that flexibility of being able to capture exactly what you want, it helps if you have the right lenses. On Amazon, they have so many options so you can find the exact thing that you want very easily. This is another one that's really super important. And I actually found out about this through another live streamer is, sometimes if you start doing some of these live streams that are like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours long, how the heck do you keep your battery going? And honestly, I haven't had any problems with these batteries, but one of the things that I started doing is I bought this dummy battery pack. Now, you'll see it over here in the upper right-hand corner. The cool thing about this is it gives you the ability to keep streaming. You've got everything plugged in, so you don't have to worry about, is there a battery that's going to go while you're in the middle of a really important interview. It's going to be up to you if you start professionally streaming to make sure that you have the right equipment and you put in the right provisions so that every stream is as best as it can be and that you get better with each one. But the battery idea, this is like going back to the fundamentals to make sure that you've got your safety nets in place and that you're good to go. So super important. And I hope that that does help you. One of the other things that is really cool is when you know that you're going to start purchasing these items. Amazon a lot of times will have these different bundles available. So on this case, I just highlighted it where they have a bundle of the capture card and the stream deck. 2 must-haves if you want to take your live stream to that next level. So if you can get in there, you can afford it, and you're ready to really get into this live streaming, this is a super good price. And I will tell you, these are 2 secret sauce ingredients for creating an amazing live stream: the capture card and the stream deck. The stream deck, you're just going to have so much fun with it, but on top of it, it's not just about fun, it's about creating incredible streams and having a little bit of fun, being able to randomly say, I'm going to throw some confetti at you with the click of a button. I'm not searching anywhere, I'm pushing a button because I know exactly where to go. So I cannot tell you how pleased I am with Elgato. It was like a company that I didn't know about until I started getting into live streaming. And in fact, I saw some of the stuff with my kids because they're into gaming. But as I started getting into live streaming, it was like, I need that too. And I'm just really grateful for how far that company has taken it. But the big thing is make sure as you're going along this journey of live streaming that you're not beating yourself up, I don't have everything right now. Amazon also has a way, I don't know if you know this, where you can create wish lists. So let's say that you have a birthday coming up or a holiday coming up. You can put those wish lists out there and share it with people if these are your, dream items of what you'd want. And that way you're getting what you want instead of an arbitrary gift that doesn't have anything to do with what you really want, right? In fact, I am going to put on my dream list. You want to know what it is? Do you want to know? For me, my next one is I want to get the Elgato green screen, which is retractable. And then that way I can have it on the opposite side of where I'm filming. I could do some other really fun videos for my audience online, and maybe here on Amazon. Maybe I could do some animated things where I'm crawling out of like a Blue's Clues kind of background. You never know. So Christmas is coming up, so this is a good time for you to start creating some of your wish lists, and maybe it's not even a wish list you share with somebody else. Maybe it's your future vision board for your live streaming of sharing each of these items in a list that I have in the carousel, and then later going back and ordering as you see fit as you start to fill in that need, get rid of that gap in your whole setup, and just to have a little bit of fun. But don't be afraid to start off at one level and then migrate up. And the cool thing is even when you set up at that one level, you're gonna find other places that you can use some of that equipment. So one of the first lights that I had, and I just don't think I can get it over here because it's over in the corner. But I just want to talk to you about it really quick, is the ring light. Now we see a lot of people that are using ring lights. It is a great starting point. This particular one was the first one that I started with. It has the orange ring that can go around it for a diffuser, so it brings a little bit of a warmer color. And part of this is going to be you putzing around and looking and seeing what works. I know right now the ring lights seem to be a really popular look. People like to get that pop of that ring right around their eye with the light because it just really makes it stunning. It's great, but for me, where I was having a problem was with the reflection of the light. Like you can see a little bit here, but it was like two great big circles. So I'm starting to set that up a little bit differently. Also like the floor print thing, because I was running out of some room here. But what I'm going to do with those lights, because if you go and you look at this on that ring light, this is one of the things that's really cool. Number one, that diffuser with that orange cover on it is great for, improving your lights and your reflection. But also, if you look at it, there's a spot right in the center for you to place a camera. So what I'm going to be doing, remember when I said to you at the very beginning, my first camera was this iPhone. Now I have this phone over here. Eventually what I'm going to do is take that ring light and I will use it to host. I've got a couple of cell phones. So, you know what, even if you have old cell phones, don't get rid of it. You can use it for cameras for your setup, for live streaming, even for like backup spots, So on my setup, I'm going to be doing two more cameras, adding two more cameras eventually. One, I'm going to take that ring light and I'll position it where I have my camera facing down. So let's say that I was doing a product demo or something. It'll be right there and it'll have all that light, infusing that space. So, don't necessarily get rid of old equipment. Find other ways to see if you can repurpose it, or then share it with maybe an upcoming live streamer, maybe one of your family members or somebody else that works in your office. But it's also good to have it as a backup plan in case something goes wrong. You can easily fill in that light. But like with these phones, like I said, I'm going to use those in a really fun way to be able to do a second light for product demo. But very happy about that. And I think that for price point wise, it's not bad at all. This is an incredible way to get started. And I know for me, I will be using it again. That's why I'm not getting rid of it. In fact, I originally bought 5 of these and I sent one to each of my staff so that when they were doing their live streaming, they could get going, and I think that this lighting is probably one of the things that people do wrong regularly. I can't tell you how many times have you been on a Zoom phone call or a conference call, and then all of a sudden you see just like dark. It just, somebody's meeting with you. And this is what it looks like. Maybe it's not even that good. Maybe it's just more like dark. I can't see your face. Turn on your light. So whoa, getting washed out. Can you see me there now? Okay. So lighting is definitely key, and you know, I think that if people just took a little bit of time with their lighting, and they made sure that they had some good lighting and their sound was good, your stream is going to perform beautifully right there. Setting up your iPhone, make sure you have a good mic, make sure you have good light, you're going to be good to go. So, I have a little bit of fun with that. The other thing is that I do want to show you is I have two of these. They're soft box lights, very affordable. The light bulbs are huge. They're huge. They look like light bulbs on steroids. And it does come with a cloth cover on it. The thing about it though is it has like a softening effect for lighting, and those can be really great too. Like let's say that you're bald, you have no hair, and you're doing a live stream. If you're doing a lot of lights on here, you might end up with some, I think they call them hot spots, or like shiny spots on your head, which can be bad. Unless it's the look you're going for. But taking like one of those soft lights and then bouncing it off a wall can help eliminate some of that shine that shows up on your head. So as you get your lighting, look into getting different diagrams, and even aside from just the diagrams, start playing around with where's the light bouncing on your video so you can capture the best look for you. And just to have fun while you're doing it will be the key to you getting through and not having a little bit of agony. Last two things that I do want to show you are, these are basics, but it has made my life a little bit easier. I want to show you my mouse and keyboard setup that I have over here. So I ended up upgrading to the Logitech from the Mac, like the standard that comes with the Mac. In fact, with the Mac Minis, it doesn't come with a keyboard or anything. But for a little while, I was just using my old keyboard, and I was sharing it between the two computers. But I didn't like some of the hiccups that I was having while live streaming, and a mouse getting caught over there. So now I have it set up, two different setups. And the desks are spread apart enough that it makes sense for two different setups. So this is the Logitech keyboard. It does have the ability to control multiple desks or multiple computers, where you can do, choosing between one and two. There's actually three different outputs, so you could technically connect even like your iPhone or iPad into it. It does light up, and it is really actually kind of heavy duty. It's not light, so it definitely has some substance to it. The keyboard, I'll give you a sample of what it sounds like. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's like a soft spring type keyboard. And the lighting does make it really nice, especially when you start doing a lot of editing with your videos. You'll find that sometimes you're working in the dark on a screen, and it makes it just nice to have that light up so you can see that. So overall, I will tell you, I've been very happy with this upgrade. It's not something you necessarily have to have when you do your live streaming, but what I do recommend, if you really are going to get serious about live streaming, is just set up your gear separate for your live streaming stuff. To me, it was worth the investment for the keyboard and just having everything on its own, so I didn't have to worry about it. And then one of the little cheap pleasures that I did for myself is I ended up getting the mouse, the Logitech mouse. And a lot of people had been talking about Logitech, but I was just so stuck on the magic mouses from Apple. So I was a little bit slow to do that. I kept buying the Apple mouses. But now that I've gotten acclimated to this, it is wonderful. So you'll see there's like a little spot that like your ergonomically your hand is just designed, like a football or baseball or whatever. But ergonomically it's just designed for your hand to just like rest on it. And it has the scrolly wheel and then also the side scroll over here. It comes with software where you can easily program to have these keys function differently based on what you want. I mean, it's endless. They've got a pretty cool software program, so you can check that out. But that was something that I was definitely happy with. It was one of those little, let me spoil myself, but price point wise, compared to the Magic Mouse, it's like half the price, but it had more features. But I am still getting used to it, because in our minds, we just go on autopilot on some of these things. So sometimes I'm trying to scroll or do different things that are just on the Mac Apple mouse and it just doesn't work. So, anyhow, I think that we got through just about everything, but I just want to give you guys like a recap really quick. Um, if you're good with that. You ready for a quick recap? We've been going for a little over an hour. Wow. Um, so to give you a quick overview, today I had a chance to share with you my live stream setup of what I'm doing. And I've shared along the way my journey that it didn't start with just all this good stuff. It had a bunch of other stuff with it. And I want you to be loving and caring to yourself and just keep building and don't give up. Keep building that momentum and going. So, we'll see here. Okay, so first thing I talked to you about was the audio gear. One of my favorite purchases ever for streaming was the Zoom little device setup. It has been so good to me. Just make sure that you get the right cables and you buy extra cables that you're prepared. I happen to connect that with the Shure. In fact, I'll scroll through this again really quick on the carousel just so in case you're looking for these items while I'm talking about it. I have all of them in the carousel. So the first thing is the Zoom has been incredible for my live streaming. That was the best investment. And I say if you're going to get into live streaming production, definitely start with fixing your audio. Get that fixed. People will watch a crappy video more so listen to crappy audio. They will leave. They will leave, I can tell you. Think about it. How many times have you heard something that's so windy or whatever, you say, I can't listen to it. So address your audio first and have fun along the way. Make sure that you pick up some of those mic covers too, because that'll make it easier. The Shure microphone is what I set up with. Now on the Zoom setup, there's an outlet for 4 microphones. It does come with some really cool microphones, but if you want to do like this interview style or this, vlog style that we're doing right here, it's something good to have on hand. I ended up getting 4 of those. Also, the microphone covers definitely can help you with preventing some of those p and f sounds from being, that really annoying sound people don't want to hear when they're listening to the audio. I also have the mic stand for that microphone. Super durable, very hard. It's not going to knock over. It definitely has substantial weight on it. So it's made with high quality. So you're not going to have to worry about, is it going to get knocked over? What's going to happen? The other really cool thing, this adjustable desk. I love this. I was sharing it with you earlier. We can go up and down with just a click of a button. So super simple. Nothing's falling over. Everything's all in there. I have it on wheelers so I can easily move this whole setup to anywhere I want in the room. No problem. And I ended up just adding on these coaster wheels. These ones, you could do 1.5 inch to 2 inches. It's going to depend on what your height is. But check that out. Also, the Elgato lighting, one of my favorite things for being able to bring a little bit more color and personality and a professional touch right into your live stream. That has been fantastic. I've got the Elgato Key Light Airs right here. I've got two of those. And then in the center, I was showing you earlier how I have just one light, and that is the Elgato Key Light. High quality, they will not disappoint you. I have been blown away by this company Elgato, and I think that people are going to start to know that name more and more, even outside of the live streaming world, because the quality is just phenomenal. One of the other ones, just for a little bit of fun, I think it's pronounced Gouvet. I've got it highlighted in the carousel. Really fun way to add some color to your backdrop. And you can change the colors. You can change if it's flickering or solid light, or finding whatever's the perfect fit for you. One of the other big things that I shared with you today is that with the streaming, one of the big problems that I had to address right away was having the right computer. So I had to upgrade and get a Mac Mini, and I'm using this strictly for my whole live streaming setup that we have right here. And I haven't had any problems since I've done that, so it's been so worth it. And then one of my most favorite things as a live streamer, it is this Stream Deck. It is so much fun. And I got to tell you, if you get this and you start fooling around with it, you're going to find that not only does it make your live streams fun, but it also helps you really manage everything that you're doing with your computer, whether it's light controls or getting to applications, or fill in the blank, even like right here. Let's find out. How can we add a little bit of fun? Oh, push a button, add a little confetti. So you got to have fun with it, and make sure that you're staying in touch with a little bit of your inner child, and doing these little things that will bring you a little bit of joy, will make it where the people watching are having fun, and maybe hopefully you're having a little bit of fun. Next thing real quick is, we talked about, the mouse, and the keypad. Those are really cool things. And I love it, but I think finding where do you fill in all these blanks and how do you do it, it comes down to you got to prioritize. And then for your camera setup, hands down, I give a great big kudos and thumbs up to the Sony. It has been a game changer for me, and I think that if you have a chance to tinker around with it, you'd be really happy. So great big thumbs up for the Sony ZV-E10. Make sure E10. Super cool. And if you do get that, the other thing that I just really want to encourage is that you look at getting that capture card so you can get the best image. And if you do that, absolutely make sure that you snag this 4K micro HDMI to HDMI cable. The camera can get by with just a UBS cable. It can. I think it's like UBS Mini, like what I use for charging my iPhone. But this is going to take you up one more level. So definitely go check that out. And what else? I think that was about it. I think we covered all of it. We talked about battery backup and iPads and iPhones, and even some of the lighting that you start off with the ring light and the diffuser light. Those are good things to have. They're good. But eventually you might migrate to the next level, and that's cool too. So make sure you're just doing what you have to do to create a little bit of fun and excitement in your next live broadcast. And I hope that these videos that we created today, these little tutorials or product reviews, help you in some way. And most importantly, I hope that you get out there, start doing live streaming, and make sure that you're just having a really good time. All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a good night. Bye.